you know. Well, first off, for my story, for anybody that doesn't know, I was in the army for about 6.5 years. I did 2 tours to East Afghanistan. At that time, being a single father, that was the main reason why I jumped into entrepreneurship. And I started reading all these different books and, going into development. I had no intention of trading at all whatsoever. I didn't know anything about trading until I was around like 25 years old. And after, just going into it, trying to learn on my own, I found out that you need mentorship. I found out that you need to learn from the right people, because if not, it's like going to the casino over and over again and then going to the ATM machine, just trying to withdraw more money to be able to make back the money that we already lost. So I was seeking mentorship, and it wasn't until I found this platform when Terry was teaching, and I started learning from him. I was in Fort Hood, Texas, and at that time I was literally sleeping on my sergeant, who's also my best friend. I was sleeping on his floor. He gave me a couch, but the couch was like so messed up that it was actually more comfortable to sleep on the floor. And so I was watching Terry teach, and I was watching him every single day before I went to PT, right? Every single day, because it would be around 5 o'clock p.m. No, bro, it'll be around 5 o'clock p.m. sometimes, so maybe like 7 o'clock, no, not p.m. a.m. To 7 o'clock a.m. sometimes. So depending, I was able to catch like the end or the beginning, and I started to see the power of trading currencies. I started seeing what happens when you find the right mentor. It's like when it comes to working out and getting in shape. I was so upset at myself on the fact that I invested into a trainer, almost a year ago, and I had more results within an 8-week time frame than I ever had when it came to literally, this whole years of working out, trying to figure things out on my own. I realized that my pride and ego was the reason why it was stopping me from actually having success. And having him, teach me, and, the macros and all those things and the workouts allowed me to get in better shape. So if I could go for having a mentor like that, it's the same thing when it comes to trading currencies. The only thing that messes people up when it comes to this platform is that when we try to do everything on our own. So I came into this as just like a complete student. I became a nerd when it comes to trading. I just started learning all these different strategies, trying to figure everything out. So the strategy that I'm going to teach today, is going to be very easy. It's going to be like a step-by-step that every single person will be able to have every single morning, night, midday, whatever, to have part of your daily routines. So going through the motions, learning from him, I started having, results. Training balls, risk results not guaranteed, but pretty much I was able to accumulate around 2/3 of my yearly income with a matter of 3 weeks of trading currencies. And that's when I was like all in into the military. I was going to get a bachelor's in intelligence operations. I was going to go CIA, NSA, and I was just going to pretty much just be a spook. I was just going to be, those individuals that was doing interrogations, because that's what I was already doing in the military. But when you make 2/3 of your yearly income from your cell phone, who here would feel that your whole purpose would change? Like your entire purpose would change. Like dreams just be like, okay, so I'm not going to sit here and have this person tell me exactly what to do. And this whole time I had the power through my technology. All I had to do was find the right, mentorship and find the right information. We all know that information changes situations. So I want every single person to understand what we have when it comes to this platform. I was in this since 2015, and to see it transition from what it used to be to what it is now is like it's unrecognizable. Like you're able to see something that got built up to truly a $1 billion brand, and I got to see it from like the startup. And people asked me before, they said, "How did you know? How did you know that that it was going to become the I Am Mastery Academy?" And I told them I had no idea. Like, I don't know. I was just trying to figure things out. And the only thing that kept me, staying all in into this was I understood the power of the skill set. So I was thinking to myself, when Terry was breaking this down, he's like, imagine understanding the skill set, and you already had profits from the market. Imagine, combining that with the network marketing industry. Imagine people being able to learn from the comfort of their own home. They don't even have to do events. And then once they start having results, they feel comfortable. It's like each person could win, whether you're an introvert or whether you're an extrovert. And I was like, that's crazy. If people started to tap into this, I honestly feel that this would spread like a wildfire. Like I feel like it would just move fast and exponentially. And what's crazy is it did, and it still is, and it still continues. I believe it was over 30,000 customers, that was brought in within the past couple months. And that's trippy, but it's understandable. We get to think about it. when it comes to the perspective of all our realities right now. When I got into trading currencies, when I got into this platform in the beginning, everybody said it was dumb, that was stupid, that wasn't going to work. But all people are doing is just projecting, how they feel about their own dreams and how they feel about their own goals. They've never seen somebody make profits when it comes to trading currencies. They've never even probably even seen anybody make profits from trading stocks. So how can we really understand the opinions of other people that never experienced what they're talking about in the first place? So I was like, well, once people figure this out, it's game over. And I was trying to tell everybody in the military. I was trying to tell my first sergeants and my captains. And, when I finally signed away that I was done with the military and I was walking away, it was so crazy how many officers came up to me and said, hey, I'm actually interested in learning about that trading stuff, but I couldn't talk to you because, you're over here, enlisted in terms of not being an officer. And I was like, dude, are you serious right now? Like, the reason why you didn't talk to me was because you're a captain, and I was pretty much an E4 promotable. So it's crazy that at that time frame when everybody said that this was weird, now it's really hitting people. And I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but sometimes it takes for God to put us in a situation that will make us like uncomfortable to just get out, to actually just get out of our own way, to go all in on our purpose. And that's what I figured out for myself. And then for some people, this is the first time where people are listening to more sermons, where people are doing more personal and spiritual development, where people are focusing, more when it comes to the skill set of being able to, create revenue through digital entrepreneurship. And that's the reason why I'm so excited about it. I'm so hyped about it. And I'm so all in about it, because I'm like, dude, like, this is so crazy. And the fact that I'm able to do this from the comfort of my own home. When people ask, how is quarantine life? I've had people call me when all this started, how are you holding up during quarantine? And I was like, honestly, the same. This is literally my life. Like, this is what I do. Like, I've literally became a homebody. I've literally, made it to a point where I'm comfortable in my own home, that the fact that I got addicted to these profits and I got addicted to residual income and serving other people, like, this is the best place to be able to do it. This is way better than while I was sleeping on my friend's floor, to have my own place to where I could be able to walk around and be on calls and be able to like listen to whatever music I want to listen to. See, it's all about perspective. And I want everyone to understand that before we get started, is being grateful for the situation that you're in and being grateful for the people that surround you and the leadership and the community, because it's not even just about the skill. It's the fact that we have the ability to learn the skill and also to be around a community, to be around people that build us up, and that, that share information, and that people can learn from mistakes, but geniuses learn from others. So you can learn from my failures, I can learn from your failures. And then all of a sudden we're all growing together. And what I truly believe, that we're actually being the actual hands and the feet, right? Whoever believes that we are the hands and the feet. So being able to be like that and to share and to really grow together as one is so powerful. It's so powerful. Okay. So if I could go from being that person, remember, I never met Christopher Terry. I never met Chris Terry at all. Never really talked to him. And how does a person from Fort Hood, Texas, end up being the first educator from the platform that ended up becoming the I Am Mastery Academy to what it is today? Doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense how that person could go from being sleeping on a friend's floor, about to go all into the military, going through this whole feeling of lack of self-worth, having self-doubt, consistently all the time. If I could go from that person to being a chairman 25, I have an organization around of over 11,000 individuals, to also being an educator where I teach 5 days a week, to also having my own strategy where I send out trades. The reason why I state this isn't out of pride and ego. It's to state this because every single person on this call right now has the same type of power inside of them. Like, inside of them, it all depends on what you say. It all depends on the people that you spend time with. It all depends on, like, the environment that you're creating inside of your mind. And the reason why I state this first before we get started on anything is because some people are running so fast in the same spot that they're getting nowhere. We're working so hard. We're getting on all these calls. We're getting on all these, education, go live educator sessions, taking all the trades. But for some reason, we're not getting to where we want to be. And the reason why is because of the words that we're stating, because power does not lie in our thoughts and vibrations, it lies in our tongue. And how many things are we stating on the things that we do not want? How many of us are going into charts and already stating, oh, well, we'll see what happens. I just hope it doesn't, I hope it doesn't make me feel like it's, I'm going to lose the trade again. So if you feel the vibration losing that trade already, you're going to lose a trade. So this is a spiritual thing. This is a vibrational thing. This is a frequency thing. If you don't believe it, there was this weird thing that I think it was one of my mentors did, where like they said, touch my finger, and we touch fingers, right? And what's crazy is like now just sit there and just feel. I was like, I feel like some sense of like electricity coming from this other person's finger. He's like, that's frequencies. That's energy. That's why when you hug somebody, it feels good and oxytocin is released, which is the chemical that makes you happy. Like if we don't believe it, if we don't believe that there's frequency and all these things in the world, how are you on this call right now? How is there something that's in the sky right now as we speak that if it was a little bit closer, we'll be being like literally burnt to death? There's magic in this world and we just have to tap into it. And all we have to do is change the words that we're saying. So if we have an addiction problem, if we have a generational poverty problem, all we have to do is state the exact opposite. So I want everybody to do practice on a day-to-day basis and to start to, catch ourselves and hold ourselves accountable to never speak of the physical circumstances that's happening right now that we do not want. To never physically speak of the circumstances that is physical right now that we do not want. See, I was hitting a standstill when it came to business and trading before, but it was just like I kept speaking the same story. And I had to have, exaltation, and I had to have conviction to be able to speak about things that, are so out there, right? The C-type goals like Bob Proctor talks about all the time, and the one revelation that I had within the past week was the way that we talk to ourselves with our affirmations. We speak in terms of like we're a third person, like we're talking to ourselves like we're a coach coaching ourselves, when in all reality, all I have to do is say I. Instead of saying you got this, you say I got this. I said, don't worry, you're going to hit success. It says, no, I have success. No more of this is going to catch up to me. We keep stating this, it's now, it's here, it's present. Success is here right now. Seven figures is here right now. Chairman 500 is here right now. I know it sounds so scary for a lot of people, especially if you haven't hit P600 or P1000 yet. If it seems so scary to state, I am a Chairman 500, and it doesn't seem familiar. But when you start to declare it, from like literally from your diaphragm, and encompass your entire body, and you speak this and you pray as if it's done and you're grateful for it. What I've said before is that for some reason, there's these goosebumps that take place. There's this sense of familiarity that takes place. There's this feeling that this is supposed to be normal, that we're supposed to be tapping into this type of energy, that we're supposed to be tapping into this type of paradigm. Now, what doesn't feel good is when we're complaining and we're being negative, right? And we're talking about the things that we don't want. It doesn't feel good. It makes us sick. It literally makes us sick. The more we start to focus on our problems, we start to have stress. I was getting a haircut, I get a haircut like every week, but he was noticing that there's a time frame where I was overthinking things, that I started to have like a stress patch in the back of my head. Has anyone ever had a stress patch in their head, when it comes to their hair, wherever? I didn't even know that existed. He's like, yeah, man, it keeps getting bigger every single week. Every single week is getting bigger. I was like, bro, what the heck? I started focusing, more on meditation, on breathing, more on personal and spiritual development, and more on spending time with the right people. And all of a sudden, it started getting smaller. You see what happens. We can literally think our way into sickness. The reason why I already know that we're good, because number one, I know who my God is. And number two, if you read The Secret, it says the gift of health is keeping me alive. I'm so thankful that the gift of health is keeping me alive. Okay. Does everybody understand the mindset and the frequency and the vibrations? Because think about this. Let's say you have a call. I have a call in about, at 6 o'clock, literally in about, I don't know how to do the math here. 35 minutes. Okay. 35 minutes. I'm doing an intro call. And my mentality is every single person is getting set up. Every single person who wants to do this business. There's people that's hopping into the call that have been through so much pain, so much trials and tribulations, that they're all getting set up. They're all getting set up. They're all going to be on the fast starts. I'm speaking this into existence. Or we could be that person that says, well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully my guest's going to get on. Hopefully we'll, just I haven't got on for like the past couple times. And it's just, I feel like I'm missing something. You are missing something. We're not speaking in definite terms. If you see the volume, you don't like it, it's okay. Speak what you want instead. The thing is, we can't complain when we never tried it. We never tried it. If you feel uncomfortable doing this, go into the closet and scream it out loud when nobody's watching. When I started to do that, all of a sudden, people started getting set up all the time, right? I can't fake this. Literally this morning, I got messages from three individuals. One was Colombia, one was from Portugal, and another one was Portugal. All of them said, "What is your affiliate link? I'm ready to get set up." I said, "Have you already seen the platform? Already the platform?" They said in 2017, 2016, when I was in iMarkets Live. I was like, "That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense." How does two people from Portugal, one person from Colombia say, "Hey, give me your affiliate link, and also send me the call for tonight"? Who here would be happy if that was the conversation that was taking place in all of our DMs and all of our messages all the time? But do we breathe that? Do we walk that? Are we encompassed? Are we sitting here listening to all these individuals talk about belief, but yet we have no conviction? My tip for every single person: if you want to have conviction, if you want to have the belief and the dreams that you say that you have, all you have to do is do the behavior and think and act like that person that you say that you want to become. So I said, okay, as a chairman 500, would I complain about doing calls like this? No. I know that whatever that I put out into the universe, whatever it says in Think and Grow Rich, it says, I have others serve me because of my service to others. I think people kind of miss that second part. They said, I have others serve me. But it's not a dictatorship. It's I have people serve me because of my service to others. So what would a chairman 500 do? They'll hop on this call. Then they'll hop on a call at 6 o'clock. And then they'll hop on the call that's happening at 7 o'clock. That's what a chairman 500 would do. So what am I going to do? Exactly that. Exactly that. I feel I only slept for a couple hours. I have access to a gym with like weights and everything, and I'm kind of tired a little bit. But what would a person who's training for physique fitness on a plant-based diet and that wins, what would that person do? They would go to the gym. They would go to the gym and make sure and not take it for granted, because there's a lot of people that don't have access to weights right now. And the fact that I'm taking for granted what somebody else would go ham and take and be like, yo, this is what I need. I would appreciate this. Why would I do that? And whatever you appreciate appreciates. See, I've noticed that within my personal life is if I don't appreciate something, it disappears. It disappears. Who's experienced this? I'm gonna be very transparent on this call, right? I'm just gonna be very transparent. I ended my relationship yesterday. Yesterday, I ended my relationship. And the only reason was because I didn't feel appreciated. Okay? So when you don't appreciate something, they'll leave. So if we don't appreciate the people within our business, if we don't appreciate the people, or the actual platform that we have, if we don't appreciate the opportunity that we have, of course it's going to dissipate. Of course it's going to disappear. And spoiler alert, I'm completely happy and I'm fine. Okay. Because everybody always asks, is everything all right? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Because here's one thing that I've noticed is that when God has this imprint in your mind of who you're supposed to be, it's very hard to surround yourself, not just in relationships, significant others, but family members and friends that aren't yoked with faith, right? Who has experienced this before? And so I feel that I need to be yoked with individuals that are chasing after God's heart. Okay. If I'm going to spend the rest of my life with somebody, I'm going to make sure that person is chasing after God's heart. All right. It's not a sermon here or anything like that. This is a little tip, right? When it comes to frequency and vibrations. Why does that matter? Because whoever that you walk next to is either a liability or an asset. They're either someone that's pushing you to become better, or they're someone that's just taking away from you. Okay. Are you spending time with people that are pouring gas on your fire for your dreams and goals? Are you spending time with people that are, when you say that you have this crazy goal, they might laugh, but they said, but how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? See, for a lot of us, we'll sacrifice our own future and our own purpose just for the sake of letting one person, a group of people, an entity of people, of their emotions to make them feel good for that moment. So we sacrifice our entire purpose just to make someone feel good for one moment. But here's the thing. The only thing that we're in control of is ourselves. And by everyone focusing on the practical steps that I'm about to go get into right now, by you focusing on the vibrations, I've taught this training before that your one step is another person's 1,000 steps, because you're able to shift your atmosphere. You're able to shift your environment. There is nothing wrong when you feel down to take a break for a couple hours, to just meditate, to relax, to take a nice hot shower, cold, hot, cold, to drink a bunch of water, eat healthy, go to the gym, and to recalibrate so that way you could be a better leader. Does this make sense? Have those ways to recalibrate, as an individual. Okay. everybody understand frequencies and the mindset and all that type of stuff. I could go on and on and on about all that type of stuff, and yeah, it's very key because I've been there before. I've been like what Chris Terry says, walking into the wall, and you feel like you can't get past the wall. I play video games, right? So there's glitches when like a person's stuck on the wall. And that's what's happening for a lot of people when it comes to business, when it comes to trading, they're getting stuck, right? They're getting stuck. And all they had to do is find a solution to move to the left a little bit or move to the right a little bit and then continue moving forward. So change our state, change our state. How can you manifest and conduct trades if you're negative? How can you conduct inviting people to a call if you're complaining? How we can't, so we have to fix ourselves first. We have to put our oxygen mask on first before we help somebody else, okay? Because what I've learned and time again is that you can't give somebody something that you're not holding in your hand. And if you're not holding happiness, if you're not holding confidence, if you're not holding gratitude, if you're not holding, just appreciation for everybody and compassion and the empathy and all these things, how can we preach that to other people, right? How can we do that? We can't, okay? So we fix those stuff first, because just like in the first chapter of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, it's the law of the lid. And it's only the organization is only dependent on the effectiveness of the leader, the law of the lid. So all we have to do is just increase ourselves. We have to pour into ourselves, and we have to keep developing ourselves and developing and developing and developing. Then it bleeds out into your entire organization, okay? Bleeds out into your entire organization. So I'm going to get into the practical side of things, and I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you guys got value from that. I feel like I didn't take a breath. So, hopefully I did. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. All right, and yeah. So this is the center. This is the center. This is one of the most neglected areas of the entire platform. The center. The center. And what I want everyone to do is I want you to think to yourself, not just for you, but I want you to think just for the sake of the newest person that you're getting set up, no matter what. Right? There's four steps that I've broken down that have helped me, organize my entire business. See, I realize that each person has a different type of mentality. Okay. Some people like digital currencies. Some people like high frequency. Some people like regular FRX, and soon they'll like ECX. Okay. And our entire goal is customer service. This is one of the most neglected concepts when it comes to network marketing. Customer service, not self-service, customer service, right? Not for me service, customer service. Now, I was listening to a podcast or like interview podcast thing with Gary Vaynerchuk and the owner of the Houston Rockets, And he was saying that the reason why he became a billionaire was because of customer service. I was like, customer service? He said, it's always about the customer. It's always about the customer. He said that he would literally be sitting in the Houston Rockets arena and he would see one of the lights out, all the way at the top. And he would make sure that he goes out of his way to make sure that light gets fixed ASAP. It's all about the experience for the customer, And if you give the most amazing experience for the customer, number one, your retention will increase exponentially. And number two, they have a higher probability for being able to profit within the marketplace, okay? So 4 steps. Step 1 is the academy that they chose. See, once I get somebody set up, I don't get back with them until another 2 days because I want them to go through the platform that they paid for. I want them to understand what they paid for. If I could have them log in and see everything for themselves, you increase, the retention rate, right? The expiration date gets farther and farther and farther. So if you look at this, they come into this and they get involved. They said, what's the first thing that I do? If you don't give them the guidelines and the stepping stones of what needs to get done, they'll automatically assume that like, oh, okay, I don't really need to do anything. Hop on these sessions, take a couple trades, copy and paste. No, you go through here. What's happening now is you're having a customer go through this full experience, which then what happens when they decide? When they experience everything, they see how amazing this is. Do you understand how many more people will be excited to actually get their free subscription? How many people would be more willing to invite because they see how powerful this entire platform is? See, I understand when people don't want to invite when I said, okay, make a list now. When they're like, well, what am I making a list for? Like, I understand, but there's some people that love other people so much. I said, I want to make sure that this is good before I invite my people, before I show the people that I like, love, and respect this entire platform. So what is step one? The curriculum, the academy that they chose. And it's right here. It's right here. They go through here and they go through this. If you're on this call and you haven't went through this, it's okay. That just means go through it. Go through it, right? When you heard the whole story of Gandhi, about the whole candy thing, has everyone heard that story of the whole candy, where the mom brings his son and says, hey, can you tell my son to stop eating candy? And he's like, okay, come back in 30 days. 30 days later, she brings her son back. And he says, okay, we're here. And then Gandhi's like, goes up to the son and says, stop eating candy. And the mom's like, why couldn't you just tell that to my son 30 days ago? He's like, because I first myself had to stop eating candy before I told him to stop eating candy. All right. People could feel it's like I've noticed something. I've noticed when I'm on full recruitment and I don't tell my entire team, for some reason, it's like in the air. And all of a sudden, everyone's just like enrolling. Everyone's like ranking up. Everyone's on all the calls. Who's experienced this before? That when you're in momentum, even without telling the team that you're in momentum, all of a sudden momentum is starting to take place, right? It's like literally goes very scriptural, given, it should be given unto you, right? So then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I need to make sure that I'm doing my thing. If I'm doing my thing, that means it's bleeding out on frequency-wise every single person, okay? So when you're going through this, they're going through, by the time they're done, they know what is Forex, what is traded in Forex, all this stuff. They go through the entire curriculum, right? Once they go through the curriculum, then the next step is what? They go through the education. They pick 2 to 3 educators of their choice. Why? Because this is even more retention. Because the cool thing about this platform that people don't realize is that this is very different from product-based businesses, okay? So let's check this out. Let's say this is a CBD sleep formula thing. I haven't tried it yet because, I don't know, I just haven't tried it yet. But when you have product-based businesses, what is engaging with that? That even when I'm not around my upline, my sponsor, the events, what is engaging in that? What is keeping me involved? Obviously, taking it, having the results. But with this, the cool part about it is by tapping into this and getting out of our own way and showing everybody how powerful this is, and making it less about us, making it more about them. They log into this and they pick the educators that they like. They choose the educators they like, and they get to choose, okay? They get to choose literally what schedule that they want. And this means that they now, like let's say if they clicked my session, or they clicked on Mike Miles, or they clicked on Lex Waves. Either way, there's 5 sessions that's happening a week. That's 5 trainings that you're not doing. That's 5 breakdowns of how to use a strategy that you're not doing yourself. This is the beauty behind this platform combined with network marketing. Is now you could piggyback off of the education that's already there instead of you having to be that person. I tell everybody within my direct business that if anyone that is like working direct with me, because I can't force, the business is big now, okay? Where I feel on the fact that I feel like if I don't showcase, hold on, or same way. Do you want me to take turns in presentation? Oh my goodness, is this a presentation? Is it yeah, or is it a training? I forget. Is there anybody new that's on this? All right, if there is, I apologize. If you could write, Michael, you could type to me. Is this a training or am I breaking down?
No, this is the training. You get whatever is on your heart.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. I felt bad if there's any new person on here. I was like, oh my goodness, I apologize. Well, anyways, if you are new, you get to see this, okay? You get to see this, okay? But now you get to choose the educators. You get to be tuned in and you get to learn from these individuals consistently all times. And so now, let's say, for instance, someone says, well, I want to only do high frequency. Well, they go through the High Frequency Academy. Oh, look, there's a high frequency educator right now. You don't need to know about it, or you don't need to know about it at all. You just show them where it's at, right? It's like, oh, Evan's one of the top high frequency. Continue, right? So he's going over HFX right now as we speak. So now the step 1, Academy finished. Step 2, he watches Evan and Ness, all those people that do high frequency. And then step 3, we're going to go into the next part, which is you pick which strategy and tool. What I teach my direct team, right, is that I say there should be no reason ever that you should be doing trading and trainings. And it's okay. We've done it all in the past. Okay. But from this point on, I said, there should be no reason. And they said, why? Why not? I said, because you have people that still live at home, giving trainings, living in their parents' basement, teaching people how to trade, even though that they still work 2-3 jobs. Do you see the disconnect here? Okay. Do you see the disconnect here? where you have educators that were vetted by the CEO himself, right? From the people that are in charge of the whole, educator administration aspect of things and the tools and softwares, that are chosen, that are vetted, that have to prove themselves through their results and the way that they teach is all on here. So it's like literally paying for a university and it's like, nah, I'm good. It's like paying for like thousands of dollars to train for like, like a competition of some sort, let's say mixed martial arts, and then you pay for it and you're like the top of the top coaches. And he said, it's cool. I'm going on YouTube. No, that's cool. My boy in high school knocked out a couple people. So I'm gonna learn from him because like I saw, those fights were crazy. Instead of going to the person that they paid for. So now what I do with trading trainings is I teach people how to use the platform. I teach every single person how to use the platform. Academy, the session educators of their choice. Okay. Then going back into it, then they choose the strategy. This is step 3. They choose the strategy, right? They choose the strategy of their choice. So let's say, for instance, they're choosing the HFX. All they have to do is use like the HFX scalper, right? They have to use like, if they choose digital currency academy, digital currency educators, they can use the digital currency harmonics. So all it is they're fine tuning. We're all 3, and I'm gonna go to 4. All 3 are all lined together. HFX, HFX educators, HFX strategy. Let's say they do foreign exchange, FX Academy, they're going through, let's say they chose like me and Luke, right? And then they choose the tool that we use to give out trades. So going to the tool, that means that they're choosing a tool. They're choosing a tool that they want to master, specifically themselves, and they're going onto the educators that teach how to use this. See, that's the missing piece is that people go on to say, man, I'll just see the green, I'm going to enter. We have educators for every single strategy. So if you're following the same educators that you like and you're using the same tool that they're using, you see how everything is unison. Everything is unison. The example that I could use is, let's say, a trade setup right now. I said, okay, for the scanner, step 1, right? This is the strategy that I use, that I give out trades. Step 1 for the trade strategy is I go on the H1 on the harmonic scanner. My step 2 as I trap price to where it's at. And then step 3, I wait for a break and a retest and an entry. Okay. It's pretty simple. Very, very simple. Okay. Very simple. Let me show this. This is for whoever trades. This is a free trade setup right now. Like I didn't get to call this on a price drop yet. So if you're on here, you got a trade setup for the NZD, Japanese yen, for any of the vetted traders out there. All I'm doing is I'm waiting for a break and a retest. But you see, like this is a strategy. This is a tool. See, what this does is for every single person here that's watching this, every single morning that I wake up or every night before the London session, all I do is I log onto the scanner. I don't take any personal trades in terms of like me trying to find it. I use the tool that Christoper uses that he created off a strategy that made him his millions. Why would I go against what he does? Why would I go against what he created? Like that makes no sense to me. Like, why would I just like, it's like a slap in the face. He's like, yeah, I made a lot of money through this strategy. Okay. But, and then I also made a scanner for it, but you don't have to use it. Like you don't have to use it, but look, this is it. This is it. This is it right here. Okay. This is a setup. So let's say, for instance, you wake up in the morning, you log onto the scanner, you click on H1, you look at all the currency pairs. You trap prices for all where they're at. And all you do is you draw, break, and retest. And wherever it breaks and retest, the third step is you enter. That's just a strategy, okay? Academy, the Gold Live Session Educators, you chose the harmonic scanner. And then last but not least, you choose the money-making service, the money-making app, okay? Where it gives you potential trade sets. We always have to say all the time, trading balls, risk results not guaranteed, past results not guaranteed, future results not typical. It takes a lot of hard work. Okay, but let's say you chose Gold Cup, right? This is my specialty because this is where I give out trade setups. I got 14 trade setups last night. 14. Some people even thought you could even do 14 trade setups in a day. and majority of them won, right? As you can see, we called this out. How many pips did we capture from this trade setup for the British pound to the US dollar? About 81 pips, okay? Let's say here are the British pound to the Australian dollar. Look, people are in right now. Okay, I can't fake this. I didn't draw this before here. Look, we called this trade out. Everybody's in profit right now for this one. What was the trade setup for this? Oh, it was about 168 pips so far. For the euro to the Japanese yen, what's happening right now? Oh, wick, when it closes, people are entering. British pound to the US dollar. I already went over this one, but once again, how many potential pips right now? 77 pips. For the US dollar to the Swiss franc, we call this one because we enter off the 15-minute, and this one drop, 37 pips potential. For the euro to the US dollar, everybody is in this trade right now as we speak. Did they collect the first 30 pips? The answer is not yet. They just have a stop profit in place. For the euro to the British pound, we called this trade out here, right? Price went up, boom, break, close. Let's see. What was the potential from entering around 30 pips? I give the first entry, the first take profit, the stop loss. For the US dollar to the Japanese yen, we called this trade right here, okay? And we called this trade right here. Now let's see how many pips that was. So we called potential 161 pips. And then from this one, what did we capture? Plus potential 51 pips. The Australian to the New Zealand dollar, right? Did this profit? The answer is yes. What is the potential? 70 pips, okay? The euro to the Australian dollar. This right here, price hit, it came up. Guess what? I have rules in place. The moment it went up, it went 10 to 15 pips in profit. You set a 2-pip stop profit. But here's the crazy thing that people don't realize. This still hit your first TP because my first take profit is always 30 pips. So even though it looks like you didn't gain anything, you still collected 30 pips. It hit break even on your other one because I have the rules in place. USD CAD, nothing happened. No retest, no entry. We're just going to reset this up. For the euro to the New Zealand dollar, yes, we won this one, right? What happened? Price went up. What's the potential? 150 pips, right? New Zealand to the US dollar. Price came up and it tapped off of here. Was there potential that we're able to collect our 30 pips? The answer is yes. They collected the 30 pips. Hit your first take profit, then it hit your stop profit, and then now you're not in the trade anymore. For the euro to the Canadian dollar, right? Did price do a break and retest? The answer is no. Why? Look, there was no break and there's no retest. It broke and went above. Whoever feels that that's easy? Whoever feels that that's easy? So literally alone, just from the 4 steps, going through the FX Academy, choosing someone like myself and Luke or Kimberly Torres, and then choosing the harmonic scanner call trades, and then also learning from us. And then on top of that, on my sessions, I'm drawing up the trades for you. And then I also send it to your computer. This helps with your skill and it helps with your retention. Okay. It helps with your retention. That's how I've been able to dissect this entire thing to make it easier for every single person. So every customer is a happy customer. And by them going through it, right, the first setups that I have, I'm going to share this, right? This is exclusive call. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, if it's all right, Michael, if I share my launch thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. I'm going to show you why this is powerful. Because by the time my customer is done going through this, watch this. By the time I'm done going through it, their mobile setup is set up, their desktop setup is set up. Look at this. I'm going to mute it so you can see, but look at this. I'm going through everything. I'm telling them what apps to download. I'm telling them how to set up their charts. I'm telling them what apps to get. I'm telling them to make sure they download Telegram so you can connect to your group or whatever. Like it's all here. I even tell them like how to add Go Cup and Price Trap and all those things into it. You know what I'm saying? It's all here. I go shopping cart. I show MetaTrader 4. This is where you download MetaTrader 4. You know what I'm saying? So now someone gets involved, they see that. And they said, oh, well, how do I set up my desktop? Perfect. Good question. So you go here and you're able to see the setup on the desktop, going through the curriculum, choosing the educator that they want, choosing the tool that they want to use, okay? And then being able to choose the money-making app that they want to make, or that they want to use to make money. How powerful is that? So what I did was I made it systematical to where like I edified the company, leadership, the vision, the strategies, and the services. And then boom, within 2 days, I said, hey, let's go over everything. I look at their mobile setup. Cool, perfect. I look at their desktop setup. Awesome. And the power free, I said, do you have enough money for the next 18 months to be able, you could be honest with me. Do you have enough money in the next 18 months to still pay for the subscription? And if they say no, I said, I totally understand how you feel. I've been in that situation before. Help me help you. Do you feel like at least 30 individuals that would actually go through the process that you went through and actually love this, learn the skill, all these things? Like, yeah, 100%. And then they're like, all right, cool, make a list of 30, you know? Now, here's a couple of things that I do when it comes to taprooting. I have them make a list of 30. I teach them the art of edification before the art of the invite. All right. I noticed that's a missing piece, talking highly about other people. Now, imagine if they said, I don't know how to talk about good about other people. I was like, just pretend you're talking about yourself. Just pretend you're talking about yourself, but about another person. Okay. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, you do it all the time. So edification and the invite, but I teach them for the 30 individuals, if they said, oh, well, I don't feel comfortable, it's okay. This is what I'm going to do for you, right? I don't normally do this for anybody, but write down their Instagrams. Like, here's the thing. Be direct. I've noticed when you have conviction in your direct, people like to be led. All right. So when you say this, you know what? It's okay. Just write down their Instagram handles, their social media, whatever, and their phone number. And do you mind if I contact them on your behalf to make sure that I help you get a free subscription? Is that okay with you? So no matter what, whether they invite, perfect. If they don't invite, I got the list. Okay. And they say, I don't know 30 people. It's fine. I learned this from the German team, and this probably learned from everyone, but this is where I learned it from. They said, make a never ending list of 5. So I said, hey, just make a list of 5. Just 5 people. Just 5. And every time that they invite one person, they said, just add another name. It's called a never ending list of 5. Okay. Never ending list of 5. If they don't want to invite, they said, just write down their names and their full names and their social media handles. And do you mind if I contact them on your behalf? So that way you're not paying for a subscription for the next 18 months. Would you be happy with that? So it's like, you see what it's all about though. It's all about the customer service in that. Okay. I have to prepare for my next call, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my production report. That's all right. Right. My production report. I'm going to make it better. It's new because I'm testing out how this Evernote thing works. But I realized in regular traditional business, there's production reports, there's quarterly reports. If we did that in our organizations, it would be like just nothingness, just nothingness. So daily production report is I make sure my why is always restated. Like I'm literally writing down my why again, my goals, I'm restating it. And I have my non-negotiables, okay? What my non-negotiables are is this is my favorite recruiting tool. My favorite recruiting tool. All right. And what I do, this is what I send to everybody that's in the business. All right. Let me go here. This is what I sent to everybody in the business. Oh, it's too big. All right. Let's do this. Boom. We'll go this first part right here. Let's see if this will. Let's say, for instance, I met somebody brand new. Just a friend. I met them. They became my friend. They start telling me about the problems within their life. They say, hey, I'm having some problems in my life. Hey, I totally understand how you feel. I've been through the same situations. And then all of a sudden I said, you know what? How about this? Give me your social media and then your direct number. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you my non-negotiables. My non-negotiables is like my daily routines. And in there is a podcast and sermons. And you're talking about certain things, and there's a sermon from Bishop T.D. Jakes, that talks about, crushing. Talking about crushing. And I honestly feel that it would really help because it helped my situation, my life. You mind if I send that to you? They said, oh, perfect. Right? So what happens now? You're able to send that person value. Okay? You're able to send that person value. You get feedback. You gave them value. So when you invite them, you check on how they've been. Oh my goodness, it won't let me copy and paste in here. I'm really trying to copy and paste this in here for the non-negotiables. How about this? I'm just gonna send it to Michael. He'll send it out to the chats, whatever, so that way every single person can have it. But I want people to understand this though, that there's a method to the madness before everybody has it. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again. I only send them up to this part right here. all the way up. Why? I'm gonna highlight this because this has nothing to do with business. Attitude or gratitude. Spend 15 to 30 minutes utilizing incantation, actively visualizing. Touch your written goals. Utilize apps like Headspace or YouTube for guided meditation 1 to 2 times a day. Check your paradigm and vibrations. Commit to 1 hour a day of listening, reading while writing notes. Breakdown at the bottom. I give all these different podcasts I listen to. Look, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Gary V, Ed Milet, Tom Billy, Jim Rohn, Stephen Furtick, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Michael Todd, Judah Smith, Jason Silva. How you do anything is how you do everything, or have a good year. You need good months, or have a good month. You need good weeks, or have a good week. You need good days. Match your day, match your life. Now, for people that are like, well, I don't know what gratitude is. Well, guess what? I have videos on gratitude. I have a video of Tony Robbins doing incantations. I have a video of what meditation does to the brain, right? But Bob Proctor says fear stems from ignorance of information. Once they find the information, there's no more ignorance. Okay. So I send them all that. It has nothing to do with business. And I send this to them, and then they're like, oh, okay, wow, thank you. They usually contact me within the first 24 hours. If they don't contact me within the first 24 hours, I contact them within the next 2 days. I say, hey, how are you? I want to get feedback on the non-negotiables. Did any of that help you? If they say, yes, it did, I love this part. I was like, honestly, the fact that you like that part and are open to growth showcases to me that you seem like a person that when you commit to something, you commit. I could already tell that you're someone that's different. Honestly, you would kill it at what I'm learning right now. Well, what are you learning? Well, I don't have that much time to talk right now because I'm heading into a meeting as we speak. But what are you doing tomorrow at this time that involves the solution to the problems that you're telling me within your life? You see how simple that was? Easy, right? So everybody see the non-negotiables. I'm sending it right now. Now, the other part on it is for all the people that's within the business. If you're focused on trading, 2 to 3 traders you follow on IML TV, I'll have to change that. Focus on 1 tool to master, 1 money-making app. If in business, go into IG stories, give out value you got from personal and spiritual development, save the video, post on Snapchat, Facebook stories. Go onto IG stories and give a snippet of the platform and charts, recording of IML TV, scanner trades, gold code trades, etc. Right? Build relationships with 10 people every hour via social media. 5 to 10 hours. Find the pain and the dream and send DMOs, non-business part, follow up with them every 40 hours, right? Do you know how many people made fun of me that I am a nerd when it comes to a system? I heard it all. Look at Chris over there trying to find. Isn't that the point? He's trying to make it better. Isn't that the point? Aren't we supposed to get better? Like, why do we stay the same after 90 days? Why don't we assess our system and assess our business and make it better and make it better and make it better? So I even made a little daily production report, and I want to share that with everybody here. So non-negotiables, you now know what non-negotiables are. I do 1 hour minimum of personal and spiritual personal and spiritual development, and I write down the notes, okay? Notes. Why? Because I now have an IG, Facebook, and TikTok live time that I do every single day, same time, every single day. I was researching. Ed Milet was talking to one of these social media influencers, like the single mother, and she said when she showed her face every single day, her face, not repost, nothing, her face, her engagement quadrupled. Not doubled, not tripled, quadrupled. Because her face was in the camera. Her voice was in the camera. Okay? I don't have any topics. It's okay. Didn't you do an hour personal and spiritual development? Whatever your notes are, you talk about it. But you have 2 different experiences. Either you've done it before and you could tell the experience that you had, or you had the experience of the opposite spectrum of not doing it. Either way, you have content. Then on top of that, you write down, because this will get lost in the sauce, right? From what you learn, the caption and the ideas of a picture or a video. Even if you don't post it that day, at least you have it set, the idea of the caption and the picture or the video that you want. Then you chose the educators that you watch daily, the tools, the strategy that you use daily. And then this is going to turn into columns, 100 people that I talk to. What does that mean? It means I compliment, like, comment, and DM. Does it mean I closed? Does it mean I invited? It means that I talked to, okay? And the way that this works is simple. Because even if you do 10 people every hour on the hour for 5 to 10 hours, that's still 50 to 100 people a day, right? You could do 63 types of following, whatever, before you get blocked. So stick below the 30 mark, okay? If you're going to do go all in, all in. So what I do is I talk to 10 people every hour on the hour, 5 to 10 hours, and I have the columns in place. I compliment, I like, comment, and I DM, right? On Instagram, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it may be. Now, here's the thing. Even if they don't want to get in, even if they don't want to see the opportunity, even if they don't want to be a part of it, nothing, right? Check this out. Just because you're engaging with them, the algorithms is changing to where they see your stuff all the time. So if you did 100 people a day, that means you did 700 people that week. Times that by 4, that's 2,800 extra engagement of eyes that are now, the algorithms have shifted to where they're now seeing your stuff all the time. So they're going to see it all the time. They're going to like your stuff. They're going to comment your stuff. And that's the ability to engage. Now times that by 6 for 6 months, times that by 12. That's how I built from 500 people on my social media on Instagram to around almost 50,000 people organically. Does this make sense? Anybody getting value from this? I just want to make sure. Okay, cool. So now I do conversation and I have it all organized. Conversation, I start conversation. Once I find their pain in their dream, I check off the next column. Okay. I don't contact them for 24 hours. Once I find their pain and dream, I'm like, oh, I totally understand how you feel. I've been through those, same scenarios, but different. And it's not a competition, but if you need anything, let me know. Honestly, and that's when I send them either the non-negotiables or I say I'm heading into a meeting. 24 hours later, this is the key. This is I've been practicing these things. 24 hours later, this is what takes place. This is what takes place. Because you have their number, because you sent them the non-negotiables, and you find their pain and you have their personal number because you sent them the non-negotiables through the cell phone. You now write them, hey, urgent, when do you have 5 minutes to talk real quick? They said, oh, they'll let you know when. And as soon as they say, I have 5 minutes to talk, you call them instantly, right? Right? Instantly, okay? Instantly. Why? Because now you're in a rush. Hey, I know I said 5 minutes, but I don't have 5 minutes. I only have like about maybe 2 minutes because I'm literally heading into this webinar as we speak, this digital meeting as we speak. But I was thinking about our conversation that we had the other day. How you tell me about this and you tell me about that. And I know exactly what it feels like to go through situations. Okay. So my question to you, because I'm about to head into a meeting, is what are you doing tomorrow at this time at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific that involves the problem to that solution? Well, listen to me. I don't have that much time. The only reason why I'm calling is because I was thinking about a conversation. I'm literally heading to meeting and speak. What are you doing tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific that involves the solution to that problem? Nothing. Why? What's up? I was like, I don't have time, like I said, but my mentor that I sought out for is hosting an intro to digital art, how to learn how to capitalize on a downtrending market, and he's been through the same situations that you've been through. He's going to break down exactly the information that honestly changed my life. I'm going to count you in because of the problems you told me in the situation that you can't afford to not be on that call. So I'm going to count you in for that. Sound good? But what is it? Like, listen to me. It's like a haircut. You got to show up to get it. Sound good? I'll count you in. Sound good? Awesome. And I said, okay, I'll see you there. Perfect. You promised me something. What's up? That you don't bail on me. That's it. There's your invitation. Okay. There's your invitation. Then you do all the invitation, exposure presentation, close follow-up, blah, blah. So boom. I know that was fast track. I got a hand on this call, but did everybody get value from this? I sent the non-negotiables in the launch process inside here to every person here. I know I talked really fast. I was trying to give as much information. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris,
So I'm gonna pass it back to Michael. So
I told him, man, you were bringing the sauce tonight to make sure they have their notepads ready, man. I'm telling you, I appreciate you so much. I know you got to jump on the next call. Man, thank you so much for that value.
Thank you for allowing me to be on here. I'll see you guys.
Take care. Jump on your call, man. Listen, I hope you guys took some notes. I recorded it. I'll make sure once I get everything recorded, I'll get it out to the team here as well.
Wow.
And put some 777s in the chat if you got some value here tonight. Let me see that chat. Let me see that chat rocking, baby. Yes. Man, that was so powerful tonight. I'm telling you, incredible. Man, I am so fired up right now because not only did Chris Derrick rock the house, brought the sauce, man, just laid it out. I told him just share what's on his heart. I knew he's gonna bring the rain, but man, we got another special guest. Before we close out the call, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this young man up here tonight to share. I see he chimed in here tonight, and that's none other than Chairman 25 from Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Luke Kwamina in the house, man, chiming in. I'd love for him to just come on and just say hello to the family here. This man is a family, and I love him dearly. And so when you talk about leadership, his name is synonymous with it. So Dr. Luke Kwamina, can you unmute yourself, my man? Not sure if you're in a position to do that. Love for you to just say hello to the people here tonight before we close out.
Mr. Stotts, do you hear me, sir?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Wow, extreme value. First of all, thanks for just allowing me to jump in here. I got the message, and as soon as I logged in, I started taking notes. Every time I hear Chris share, I think we did a call last year towards the end of last year, and he was able to get very, transparent with us as far as the struggles that he had gone through and things he had to do to be at the place he is. And I heard him then generally on a Instagram live, and I said, this is a voice that I can follow, because every voice has about three things happening while you hear it. In that voice, there is content, which is what's the information they're actually giving me, right? But I also believe that behind every voice, there's character. Who is it that's giving me the information? We always joke about it, and we said, who are you and who sent you? What determines if I take somebody's content is their character behind this voice. But I'll tell you, there's a third component that I besides the character that qualifies the content, and that's where that person currently is. And in one sense, you have people who have character who don't have current success. They can't find a way of getting unstuck. They have good content. They have a good character, but sometimes people don't have current success. And it comes down to where they're at in their life. A lot of us are getting older. A lot of us are not maturing. Timing and time is two different things. Seasons and change is two different things. And so when I hear Chris and just hearing him, this is a voice that will not just produce results, it'll produce good results. The book that I read every day says that you should have good success, not just success. It's a type of success that lasts. It's a type of success that's sustainable. It's a type of success that will actually outlive you. I can tell you there are a lot of things that happen in this industry that will never be spoken about again. And then there are things that you will always hear about. They say it's only 2 times a man dies. When he dies and the last time his name is ever mentioned. And that's why some people never die. Because people keep bringing up their names over and over again. And I can tell you who you just heard from is a name that will never die in this organization because of the type of value that he keeps giving. Mr. Stotts, you guys are awesome, awesome mentors because, when I came into this industry, what was very important for me is to learn the heart for the business. A lot of people ask people questions that are skill-based. But, before skills are, they only find worth when they are on a bed of heart. I remember in the book, it says, you must lead people with the integrity of heart, but the skillfulness of hands. And I think a lot of times when people want training, they always ask for skills, but skills don't stay where hearts can't survive. And skills come and go from company to company, but who sticks with you through the thick and thin? It's hard. And that's what I learned from you guys. You know, you may not come out with all the fizz to talk about, you know, I'm here, I'm in the room, this is what we're about to do. But what I learned from you is building solid relationships. Relationships last much longer than accomplishments. Managing the markets. And that's not the financial markets, that's the people in the market. You know, you go to a supermarket with no people, you start to feel funny. Everything is perfect on the shelves, all the products are there, everything. You walk in there, you're the only person in there, you start to wonder, are these products good? Are these services good? Why isn't there nobody in the market? Well, if you don't take care of people, you can have all the products and services that you want to offer, but the market is made of people, not just numbers. I hear people all the time say it's a numbers game. Well, if it was a numbers game, then why do people stay active even when they've blown their accounts? They're not qualified at a rank. Why do they stay beyond the numbers? They stay beyond the numbers because somebody makes them feel valued, somebody makes them feel worthy, somebody makes them feel appreciated. And so if you are a part of this organization, I want to say that you're privileged. I'm a part of their organization. They taught me, you know, how to really make sure that when you build this thing, it makes business sense. You know, I probably talk to Miss Stotts every day. Mr. Stotts, you know, when Miss Stotts and I get on the phone, he basically could go do supermarket. He does his jump rope. He comes back and our phones are now plugged in because we done talk 2 battery cycles out. And that's just because I learned that I kept on plugging in, regardless of where I'm 25 in the business. I don't ever get blinded by a rank, because ranks are the lowest level of influence and leadership. What is the highest level? The highest level of leadership, if you ever read the 5 levels, is right at the top. It's called pinnacle, where people follow you because of what you represent, and very few leaders ever get there. I listen to them because of what their life represents. So, you know, just getting the value tonight, being able to just partner in. I really believe this is Chairman 25 season for this organization. This is the season. I see some powerhouses in this group, Mr. Stotts. I was going through the list. I said, wow, there's some people here that are absolutely going to get it done. And let me leave you with this. There are 2 quotes that stand out so big to me. And it's Winston Churchill that says, never waste a good crisis. There's some things that are going to happen in this season that you'll probably have to wait another 10 years to happen. When wisdom could not get through to people in the days of abundance, the hog pen is making perfectly clear. Do not waste a good crisis. Shakespeare says, sweet are the times of adversity. There is sweetness in adversity. You've got to find the sweet in the middle of the season. Do not waste this opportunity. The world is operating at a certain vibration. All you got to do is operate at a smidget higher, and they'll follow you. Operate with just a little bit more hope. There's a book I read every day. It said, a man had hope against all hope. Right now, everything is against hope. All you got to do is have a little bit more hope against hope. Have a little bit more light against the darkness. Have a little bit more courage against the fear, and they'll follow you. Mrs. Stotts, thanks again. You and Miss Marlene Stotts. I'm forever grateful. Chris, you did an amazing job. God bless each and every one of you. I love you, and I'll see you at the top.
Woo, man, I got goosebumps on my goosebumps, man. Dr. Luke, man, thank you so much. Guys, put some fire in the chat. Put some 777s in the chat, man. Dr. Luke Kwamina chiming in, bringing value in about 5 minutes. That was an hour worth of information in 5 minutes, man. I'm telling you, powerful. Dr. Luke, man, we'd love to be able to have you back on sharing with the team. As always, man, I'd love to learn from you and just hear the wisdom, the leadership, the value that you bring to the marketplace, man. And so I always tell people, man, I am is not ready for you. They're not ready, right? And so thank you so much for chiming in, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you got some value tonight. I know you did. I hope your notebook is as full as mine. As soon as I'm able to get this recording out, I'll get it out to the organization. And Marlene, anything you want to share before we close out the call?
Wow, guys. No, I am just so excited about this season. Dr. Luke said, do not waste a good crisis. IM is growing like crazy. This organization is exploding. That means your organization is exploding. Guys, cherish the people that you have in your life right now, because, you know, what is going on right now, life is not promised. I know we're talking about business here, but there are people that you know today that wouldn't be here tomorrow with this plague that's going on. So cherish your people, be safe, use wisdom in this season. You have to use wisdom when coming, especially to your money. I tell people there's an assignment on your money, and you have to unassign people off your money. The checks that you're gonna get, the little assistance you're gonna get from the government, use that wisely. Invest in yourself. The best investment you could do right now is in yourself. So expand your skill in this season. This is not a season that you shut in. This is a season you'll be shooted out because of what you will learn in this quiet time. We have all day now to be on the phones, forming relationship and building our organization, not just in numbers, but in character and in love. Love your organization, and you can, when you do that, you will move to the top. I'm telling you guys, I have enough respect for Dr. Luke and Rachel. He has been my mentor as much as I have been his mentor. So I'm going to turn it back over to you guys. Be safe. And we cannot wait for the day when the team could get back together again. Social distances wasn't designed for human being. We are supposed to be with people. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mike. Thanks for organizing this awesome call. You are awesome. You are awesome, and I celebrate you.
Oh, man. It's time for me to get off after she said that. So, guys, hey, listen, it's been a wonderful night tonight.